it can be invoked will get people in line. We know that. So Andrew Jackson, 1831, slave rebellion in Southampton County, Virginia. It was suppressed. And then in 1834, there was a riot over labor dispute in Maryland. And then Abraham Lincoln, 1861. Of course, that was the American Civil War, and that went on for 4 years. And then the Reconstruction era began. So then Ulysses S. Grant, boy, he had a lot of them. White supremacist insurgency across former Confederacy, violence in Louisiana, 1873, 1871, 1873, 1874, white supremacist insurrection massacre in Vicksburg. May 15th, 1874, white supremacists attempted coup in Arkansas. And those naughty Democrats, those naughty white supremacist Democrats, all right? 1874, white supremacist insurgency and coup in Louisiana. New Orleans and state government liberated. Insurgency continues in other areas until 1877. For 3 years, they were fighting it. Wow. 1876, white supremacist paramilitaries in South Carolina. Paramilitaries dispersed, troops stay until 1877 for another year. Rutherford Hayes, railroad strike, war between rival business gang factions. So that President Trump could use that against all the gangs that we have in the United States. It's been used before. 1882, Chester Arthur, gang violence in Arizona Territory. Grover Cleveland, 1886, riots against Chinese citizens at the Washington Territory. Riots suppressed. And Woodrow Wilson, strike and uprising in Colorado. Warren Harding, strike and uprising in West Virginia. Douglas MacArthur, not a president, but because he was Army, he can invoke. I guess he could invoke it. So there were World War I veterans marching for military bonuses in Washington D.C. Protest was suppressed. That was a bad stain on MacArthur for a long time, and maybe still is. Franklin D. Roosevelt, race riot in Detroit. And Dwight Eisenhower, Arkansas National Guard, forbids black students from a school in Little Rock. You guys might remember that. That was 1957. And then John F. Kennedy used them quite a bit. Siege and riot at University of Mississippi due to racial integration. Governor of Alabama forbids black students from a school in Tuscaloosa. Alabama National Guard forbids black students from all white schools. What is the common thread with all this racism? Democrats. Lyndon B. Johnson. Alabama police suppress first Selma to Montgomery, Alabama, Southern Democrats marches. Protests and riots in Detroit. All right, that is not about racism there. That's about jobs. Riots and civil unrest in multiple states after the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., Lyndon B. Johnson. So I remember that. I remember we had to stay in our home because of riots. That was in Columbia, South Carolina. They were pretty crazy. So Ronald Reagan, prison riot in Atlanta, and George Bush, looting in the United States, Virgin Islands after Hurricane Hugo, and riots in Los Angeles after the acquittal of policemen who beat Rodney King. So it is utilized quite often, right? I think that we're in that window right now with all the stuff that's going on in these cities, guys, where the Insurrection Act is going to be initiated, and people want it, right? People want it. The Democrats don't want it because Democrats are racist. Right? They're the real racist. God, and they're always the one pointing the finger about racism, and it's like, what? There's not any, right? So, geez. But, when you're indoctrinated for a long period of time, it's hard to break that. And the Democrats are experts at that. And Hitler said that the Democrats were experts as well. And he took what they did and made it, blended it into what he did. It's unbelievable. Jack Smith called to explain his constitutional abuses. So here we go. We're moving into taking down more of this deep state. And that's within the, of course, judicial realm. This, law warfare that's been going on, still going on for a lot of people. I hear from all kinds of people in all kinds of different situations that the lawfare is still active. It's brutal, right? It has to be. It's another one of those things that has to be cleaned up. And Smith, who led 2 prosecutions against President Donald Trump, that were ultimately dismissed after he won the 2024 election. You didn't think that was going to happen, did you? Ultimately responsible for the prosecutorial misconduct and constitutional abuses of his office. So House Judiciary Committee Chairman Rep. Jim Jordan wrote, so among the disturbing tactics employed in that prosecution, your team sought to silence President Trump by restricting his public statements about the case. So when is this happening? Smith's testimony is necessary to understand the full extent to which the Biden-Harris Justice Department weaponized federal law enforcement, Jordan wrote, urging him to reach out to schedule a transcribed interview by October 28th. By October 28th. Right? So things are coming to a head this month. God, just everything coming to a head. It's incredible. But that's a good thing. All right. So other things that happened today. Yesterday, we got what I said could be a got bounce from Friday's massacre crash. And so today, in futures before the stock market opened, they were down massively. And at one point, the Dow was down today 600 points. It rose to over 400 points, so 1,000-point difference. 1,000-point difference. We're going to have 1,000, 1,500, 2,000-point drops, guys, coming. All right, they're coming. I don't know if they're coming, in the weeks ahead, the months ahead, but at some point, this economy crashes massively, right? So I say the sooner the better. Let's get it on. Let's get it over with. Let's get the quantum financial system going, whatever. So let's look at some of the stuff that happened today in the stock market. Let's give you guys an idea how this is teetering. All right. What's not teetering, though, is silver. Silver, as you guys can see, was up massively today, and then they came in and hammered it down. And now it's recovering, staying above 50, and at some point it's going to take off, guys. There's nothing going to hold it back. There's so much suppression that's being unwound and being exposed. Silver, I mean, it could be 1-to-1 with gold at some point because it's going to be such in demand. But at this point, they're trying, like usual, to suppress that. So look at that huge down. It was up at 52. What was it? 52. 49. 52.49 was a high. And they knocked it down. What was the low today? 48. So about $4 difference. That's a lot for silver. Now we're going to see the dollar days for silver. I talked about this well over a year ago. We've seen dollar days. We saw, I think, $2 days like on Monday. And we're going to start to see $3, $4, $5, and $10 days, guys. So silver is really going to take off. Now, gold is really hammering up there too. So gold got knocked down as well. So they came after both metals, knocked them down, but they're recovering and going back up. They can't suppress this for long. All right, so look at the Dow. So the Dow today crashed bigly, right? It was down 600 points, and then it came in and pumped it back up, and then at the end, they're like, "I'm out." Right? Nasdaq, same thing, crashed hard, was down massively. Then they pumped it back up. Excuse me. They're not going to be able to do this for much longer. The days of doing that are about over. It gapped up yesterday. It gapped down today, and then it went down again. Now look at all of the Magnificent Seven. Every single one of them after hours. You can see the numbers after hours are less. Maybe one or two of them aren't, but pretty much all of them went down after hours. So the selling is continuing after hours. So tomorrow we'll have to look and see, what happens here. But again, you need to be in silver. It's, yes, William, it's biblical times. It's biblical. It's unbelievable what's happening now. And we're going to continue to see a lot of this stuff, really take off. A lot of this stuff like silver and gold and platinum, right? So President Donald Trump on Tuesday, today, posthumously awarded Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and his partner, his wife, was there to receive that. Now, I want you to look at at President Trump and Erica Kirk standing side by side. All right. Let me pull this up. All right. Do you see anything wrong with that picture? Does anyone know how tall Erica Trump is? She's 5'6". The real President Trump is 6'3". All right. It looks like there might be a 2-inch difference there. She's either got some crazy high heels. Now I looked at him when he walked up. He had shoes, normal shoes with heels, nice dress shoes, which usually give you about a couple of inches, right? An inch or two. So he's probably standing. He would normally be standing about 6'4", 6'5". Now Charlie Kirk was really tall. Charlie Kirk was like 2 inches. I think he was 6'5". So he was standing next to President Trump, the real President Trump, and he would be a couple inches taller. Now Erica. Now look at President. You can look at President Trump. I'm just going to play this. This is probably not going to hear the sound, but look at this President Trump. Look at that. It's like they're almost the same size when he bends over a little bit. So he's got regular shoes on. I can't see what she's wearing. I can imagine her wearing some kind of like crazy, high heels, right? 5-inch high heels. I don't think that's happening there. So it's the body double, right? So he's having a meeting with Milei, and he's out here in the Rose Garden at the same time. No, did he come out of one meeting and come over here? Probably the body double, guys. So, and it doesn't really mean anything to me, but I just want you guys to see, because a lot of you guys are like so literal in everything. You want everything spelled out for you, perfect, and you can't look at something and go like the Charlie Kirk fake assassination and go, that wasn't real. It wasn't real. Just like those planes crashing into 9/11, the towers, that wasn't real. There's so many things like that you need to start to train your eye and look at. So now, does it really make a difference? I mean, that's a much younger looking President Trump. In the beginning, where I showed that video where they're in the having a meeting within the White House, you know, he looked like the President Trump. So you're going to have these body doubles that are wandering around out there, doing stuff. I've heard that a couple of them have actually been killed. So they do serve a purpose, right? But for the most part, I wouldn't be volunteering if I knew I was going to be killed. But so they're obviously quite protected, like President Trump is. But there is the possibility of, the assassination attempt, just like Charlie Kirk, just like President Trump. Assassination attempts, they were stopped out, right? So that's some of the stuff that you look for. I want to teach you guys how to have that eye, right? Instead of just going with, because it really slows down the process when you see stupid and you go stupid with it. Then we have to wait a second, look at it some more, and then you get stubborn with it, and it's like, and then it's like it takes time to clue you up, and then it's like, well, it's like a gap. It's a gap in your consciousness that is there, and then when we get further down the line and other stuff comes up, you get stuck because you got a gap in your consciousness because you get stuck on something that you shouldn't have, right? So I'm not going to say stuck on stupid, but there's lots of stuff that you are missing. Everyone's missing. And so I'm on other shows. I'm talking about this on other shows. Other people have me come on and talk about this. So I'm out there spreading it. I'm very respectful for anyone that has a different opinion, as long as they don't turn into an asshole about it, So otherwise, we can chat about this all day long. It's no big deal. It's no big deal to me, right? Now, there are signs that economy is crashing, especially when you have the big wigs in the controlled economy. And that's what President Trump, of course, is trying to take down. First Brands and Tricolor collapses, raise fears of credit stress. So these are the big guys, Jamie Dimon. And they got taken for fools. So he's saying, when you see one cockroach, there's probably a lot more. Okay, isn't it your job to make sure you're look after this stuff? The bankruptcies of U.S. auto parts supplier First Brands and car dealership Tricolor have prompted soul searching on Wall Street. Yeah, whatever. Who was it that ended up making a lot of money on put options before the planes crashed into those buildings? I want to know. So, and FBI knows, but they ain't letting it up. They ain't because they're all part of the same team. It's bullshit. So the twin collapses of First Brands and Tricolor in September have affected some pockets of Wall Street. These are the cracks you got to start to look at, right? Multi-trillion-dollar credit machinery. Cracks in the multi-trillion-dollar credit. That's not like millions or billions. That's trillions. That's a lot of dinero, right? So that's dinero that maybe should be in our pockets, I think. So that's the way I think, right? I look at these guys making that was a deal that went bad. We gave them all that money. We were money laundering through them, and we threw them under the bus. They're all effed up. Yeah, we made a mistake. We're going to do better. That's literally what he said. We made a mistake. We're gonna do better next time. Banks need to go bye-bye. Banks need to go bye-bye. And they're going to. So you know, watch your accounts out there, guys. Mitt Romney's sister-in-law found dead in Southern California. They think that could be a possibility that there was a ground rush that happened, a very traumatic ground rush where her body stopped very quickly. And they think maybe, but they're not sure yet. They're going to do like, you know, autopsy and, you know, look at her blood and all that stuff and see if, I don't know, something else may have happened. It sounds to me like she got thrown off the building, parking garage, and that killed her. Right. So they're making her cause of death was listed as deferred. We'll get back to you on that. Deferred. That's the first one for me. While toxicology tests were pending. Okay. So she was just wandering and she's Mitt Romney's sister-in-law. Mitt Romney, who ran for president. Mitt Romney, whose family is involved in Ukraine money laundering. Wonder if that was maybe somebody is owed money. Right. So Mitt Romney, another criminal, ran for president twice. Once in 2008 when he sought the Republican nomination, but withdrew after the primaries, endorsing candidate John McCain, who's also a baddie. Right. He ran again 4 years later in 2012. This time securing the Republican Party nomination, but in the debates, he like won the first debate like crazy. Everybody's like, he's going to be president. And then the next one, he came in, he was like, blah, 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 and then Obama won. Duh. And then Obama went on and won presidency because he was chosen. I saw this thing recently where Obama and I think Jeffrey Epstein and some other people like went to some kind of prep school together. I'm like, and there, I saw the pictures of it. I'm like, what? What? But you know, they're chosen. They're chosen. All of them. They're chosen. Right. You're going to do this and you're going to be gay because that's what we want. And you're going to have a transgender for a wife, and we're going to give you 2 kids so you can like make it appear that you're like, you know, with a woman, but you're with a transgender. And that's what they want, guys. These Nazis are like crazy like that. Right? So they have all kind of crazy stuff they do, you know, and now they're trying to push it into regular school systems. And if you're in California, they've been very effective at it. A lot, because California's like, if you have a child that needs to do transgenderism, send them to California. We'll take care of it. Wow. So yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad out there. Thank you, Nancy. So many people are awakening to the Nazification that happened all over the world. So we think it's just like, you know, Operation Paperclip. A few Nazis came to America and they built some rocket ships to the moon, right? They inserted themselves everywhere. FBI, you name the 3-letter agency, CIA, on and on and on. You start to see, when you have eyes, like I'm trying to teach you guys, you start to see the Nazis and you start to see what they're trying to do. And when you see that, you can stop it. You can stop it. You can tell everybody, it's like, hey, the Nazis, they're trying to like take over, like in Virginia. Have you seen that race in Virginia? Oh my God. Total CIA Nazi girl, right? Trying to win for the Democrats. former CIA, like, of course, right there in Virginia. So I guess there was one guy, I forget, I think his name's Jones. Uh, he's he like did he did a post or an email, and he said his the guy I guess he was running against some election or something. He's like, yeah, I like to kill him. I like to shoot him. I like to shoot his kids. And so this one woman that's running for they asked her, said, what do you condemn that? And she wouldn't answer. She wouldn't answer. So these Democrats are going full retard, guys. I mean, I guess they're doing it so that the few people left that believe in the Democrat Party will wake up. I don't know. And maybe maybe not even that will help. I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy. Craziness everywhere. But we can win, and I think we will win in Virginia, probably New Jersey. Now that Mamdani is going to be is running for, is going to be the mayor of New York, communist, and was he jumping up and down when the Palestinians, the war stopped? No. So now you have Kathy Hochul, who endorsed him. She's the governor, and you have Stefanik is basically going. And I wondered why President Trump didn't want her. I think she was running. He was going to have her put in a cabinet position. I think Marco Rubio. I think she was going to be Secretary of State or something. And he's like, no, we need you to stay in New York because we got a lot of problems there. And now she's running for governor. Woo! Yeah, New York. You guys need it. You better get behind that woman. Oh, she's a goodie. But it's a battle because we know these guys cheat, steal, lie, manipulate like crazy. We got to do something. She was going to be the ambassador to UN. Stephanie. Yeah, I think that's what it was. So I can look it up, but I'm not gonna, because I'm going to take a break. So I fasted today, and I don't know how long I'm going to fast, but today is a fast day for Mike. He says, I'm like, I need some insights. God, come on, help me out here. I know if I do the fasting thing, then I get some really good insights. All right. So we'll see. You'll see. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they're so deep I won't be able to share them. All right. Lots of love. Stay in love vibration. And I'll see you guys next time.